Anything else from the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuits, I would hope they would have learned that PR is changing and the old PR playbook is not going to fly anymore. And yet, here we have Katy Perry attempting to use the old playbook. Now, this video is going to get no reach, but I refuse to be silenced, and I refuse. And yet, here we have Katy Perry attempting to use the old playbook. Now, a lot of people nailed this and called it out for what it was from the beginning. As soon as Katy showed up with this butterfly with her set list in space, but it appears that Katy Perry has used this Blue Origin all-female space flight, they're calling it, to promote her new tour as a PR move. Now, there's speculation and almost like jokes, right? Around, was this some kind of like weird bachelorette party for the rich and famous where they're going up into space on this roller coaster ride, essentially, for those that have too much money, then they know what to do with. There's been that speculation and kind of jokes going around, but really at the end of the day, this flight was supposed to be marketed and was marketed as like this all-female flight crew and astronauts. I know. The fact that they're being called astronauts gets under my skin as well. But this all-female flight crew, women empowerment, hear us roar, rawr. And they're jumping around and their hair is going. And they're like, wee, as they have their beautiful hair and their makeup done. And Katie's floating around with her hair in the background with a daisy and then showing the butterfly. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I'm sorry. And then the fact that they were astonished that people didn't receive it well even blows my mind more than the fact that they did this for a women empowerment bullshit trip. However, we are going to dive into this. I just want to say hi. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ashley Brianna Eve. I forgot to put the graphics here, but here we talk about branding, marketing, media manipulation, and pop culture. My background is in branding, marketing, and SEO, and I bring that knowledge to you to understand trending pop culture stories. So make sure to like and subscribe while you're here. It's an amazing group, an amazing community, and I'd be honored to have you stick around. So let's dive into this. This flight, like I said, was being marked as this event, this women's empowerment event. Yay, look at these women go to space. Well, Katy Perry reveals exactly what was written on butterfly cutout used in cringe space stunt. That is exactly what it is, a space stunt. And I'm telling you, she was there as a PR and marketing stunt. When we even look at her failed return of music with Woman's World, that tanked. It tanked harder than tanking. Like there was new records set for that tanking, that movie or that music video and that song. And so now, and still the same vein as women's empowerment, goes up to space, the first all-female space crew, astronauts. I know my teeth are chipping as I clench my teeth even saying that. And I believe that even being involved in that is part of the whole rebrand as women's empowerment, to be honest. But let's see what it says here. Katy Perry has revealed exactly what was written on the butterfly cutout she took with her to space. The Dark Horse singer 40 climbed aboard Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin space flight this week to journey to Earth's atmosphere or stratosphere. I think they barely went, I think they literally just hit the edge of where you have no gravity. During their journey, she held a daisy in front of the camera to tribute to her daughter, Daisy, along with a blue butterfly covered in text in a stunt some have called cringe. So this is the picture here of her holding up the butterfly. Perry initially told AP that she was joining the space flight for the next generation to inspire so many different people, but especially young girls to go. I'll go to space in the future, no limitations. Plenty of viewers criticized the singer for using the flight to promote her tour, as a butterfly cutout was a way to confirm the set list for her upcoming Lifetime's tour, which also, I mean, Taylor Swift has her issues with ripping people off, but Lifetime's tour, Eras tour, it's a little too close to her comfort for me. Many pointed out the text was also barely readable. Yeah, it is barely. You got to love when you even have to clarify your PR stunt. You got to love it when you're like, fuck. All right, guys. So this is what it said. It was the set list. Those are the songs. Get it? Because I have a new tour coming up. Plenty of viewers criticized the singer for using the flight to promote her tour, as the butterfly cutout was a way to confirm the set list. Oh, we already read that. It's been a long day. Today, Perry has posted a close-up shot of the butterfly trinket. You gotta love how she's got to clarify, revealing exactly what was written on it. Oh, yeah. So she posted a clear picture of it. Here's exactly what was written on the butterfly cutout. Next stop, the Lifetimes tour. See you in a week. Butterfly emoji, infinity emoji, she wrote. The butterfly contained the set list for her upcoming tour, which includes the songs Artificial, Chain of the Rhythm, Teary Eyes, Dark Horse, Women's World. Coincidence. California Girls, Teenage Dream, Hot and Cold, Last Friday Night, I Kissed a Girl, and Nirvana. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like, she has some catchy songs. I actually kind of liked Katy Perry in some way before the Women's World era and before this stunt. I mean, I wasn't like a fan. I'm more emo punk music, but she had some catchy songs. It says Perry will also perform Wide Awake, Choose Your Own Adventure, yeah. Part of Me, Ruse, Roar, Daisies, Lifetime, Firework Crush, and I'm His, He's Mine. So this was all a stunt for her upcoming tour. And TMZ had more about it today. TMZ has gone on to report Katy Perry roaring to hit the road, behind the scenes sneak peek of tour rehearsal. And so you've got the infinity stage. So there's your emoji for the infinity. And it says Katy Perry is getting ready to take her fans through a series of lifetimes. Oh my, a series of eras. I mean, it's not that Taylor was the first one to do something like that. It's just, come on, be a little bit more creative, because she's rehearsing for her Lifetime tour, and TMZ has exclusive video of the practice. The singer-songwriter, who is set to embark on her Lifetime's tour later this month, spent the first couple weeks of April rehearsing for the concert series, using an arena in Ontario, California to get ready. Oh, I was like, Ontario? Didn't realize she was in Ontario, but California. We're told Katy was very nice and professional with the staff who work at the arena, and check out the clip for yourself. Tons of futuristic lights and a huge infinity symbol literally take center stage. So that futuristic vibe, like the going to space, fits the whole marketing campaign around it. It's wild. It's hard to see exactly what's happening, but it looks like Katy and her backup dancers are walking the length of the symbol. A huge spotlight follows them along as they go. And then they include the picture of Katy holding the blurry picture of the butterfly. Worth noting, all these videos were taken before Katy went to space, when she revealed a set list written on the back of a butterfly-shaped piece of paper to the camera. So they're taken before she went to space, but released afterwards. Why? Well, from a marketing perspective, you get her name in the news. I don't think anyone was expecting the backlash they got, to be quite honest. I think everyone was expecting like a hero's welcome, and to be just like, oh, like the angels singing, everyone bowing down, like, oh my gosh, the first female flight crew. Women, it's a woman's world, Katy. It's a woman's world, Katy. And she's expecting, she kisses the ground, walks off the flight with the accidental opening of the door, which they weren't supposed to do because Bezos had to come with his tools to pretend to open it, even though it had been opened just seconds before. And the heavens open, and everyone's like, oh, finally. It's a woman's world, and Katy is leading it. And that was not what happened. Not even slightly what happened. And either way, I think this was all planned to have her go to space, and then these videos come out after, because she would have been in the news, and they were likely expecting it to be a very positive news cycle for her and SEO for her, and them controlling the narrative, a narrative control. But then that is not what happened. And they got so much backlash, as they should. It just blows my mind. This is a little bit off topic of pop culture, but you know, the common folk like us are told that you can't use water, don't use your car, use paper straws. Well, people like this, like Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, Katy Perry is doing joy rides to space, and Taylor Swift is jetting around for lunch with her girlfriends, and then meeting her other girlfriends in a new neighborhood the next night on her private jet. Like, it's such a bad joke. You can't even write this shit. It's like everyone else worry about the environment so that what we can try and make up for what these people are doing. It's just horrible. So she got, everyone that went up on this joyride deservedly got knocked down in the media for it. So I don't think they were expecting that. Many online have been clowning Katy and the rest of the all-female Blue Origin flight for their trip to space, especially a moment after they touched down back on Earth when Katy literally got down on her knees and smooshed the ground after just 11 minutes in the air. Can you imagine being the astronauts that have been stuck in space and Elon had to go rescue them, and they are literally experiencing health effects from being stuck there? And these people, these celebrities that paid for a roller coaster ride, are kissing the ground. Anywho, it says Katy's tour kicks up April 23rd in Mexico City, and it looks like she's ready to launch fans into the future. So my theory on this is, like I said, they were expecting very positive news cycles for her because it says they were filmed, those videos were filmed before she went to space. And then it was just like, you know, when you launch something, you have a sequence of events that you basically trigger. And I believe that was supposed to be her name is in the news for positive stuff and revolutionary and a woman's world and women's empowerment. And then they launch that, and then you ride the heels of the positive press into the tour, and it didn't go as planned. So part of the problem is that why I'm saying seeing a lot of the big PR firms not understand this. Justin Baldoni's team, they're keeping him out of the news. They're allowing creators to do the talking for him and to control the narrative for him. He's being very quiet. I do believe when you do see him, it is planned strategically. Hey, he's still alive. He's still here. Look at him living his best life. He's in Hawaii. So those likely are planned. When you see him, it's strategic. But overall, he's very quiet. His lawyer is doing his statements. Fans are controlling the narrative. That's also been traditionally how Taylor Swift has worked. She has had the Swifties, and I think to a detriment because they get vile and they are sometimes dangerous in their attacks on people, even exes of hers, Joe Alwyn. But traditionally, it's also been kind of Taylor's approach with Tree Payne. Tree Payne's always kind of been ahead of her time, although I think they're kind of shit in the bed here. But it was the idea of like, keep her back a bit and let Tree and the Swifties do the narrative control. But traditionally, old PR would be they control the narrative. And there's this limited access, these very curated stories, glossy exclusives, and like Vanity Fair and Vogue. And the public eats it up because there's no access anywhere else and everything's super curated. This is where Tree Payne shit the bed. This is where her and Taylor didn't keep up with the shift in narratives. Typically, they're on the ball. Tree is fantastic at what she does, one of the best at what she does, I would probably argue. But she missed this because Taylor has still been very restricted and people eat up when they see her because there's no access anywhere else. Now, what we're seeing a shift into is a almost co-creation with the public, and access is less controlled by a PR machine. And it's because it gives more of that authenticity, right? It's like more humble. Like, yes, I'm a celebrity. Yes, I am rich and famous, but I'm still humble. I'm still willing to go on, like, is it Call Her Daddy, right? It's a little bit more of a relaxed podcast. Joe Rogan is another one. Seeing Miley Cyrus is one of my actually, I'll find you the video. I'll show you the video. One of my favorite Joe Rogan appearances. You see them more relaxed and casual conversation. It's an actual conversation rather than a one-way broadcast channel. And I'm going to show you Miley's because this is amazing. Can't go any further than displaying exactly what I'm talking about with Miley Cyrus. I love her, first of all. Part of her appeal, or the majority of her appeal for me, other than her voice, I love her voice, is that she's just so real. She's never pretended to be perfect. She's who she is, and she's unapologetic within it. But I just have to share this with you guys because it's one of my all-time favorites.
And she says, wait, come over here and pile some more food up on this plate. I ain't going to the gym, bitch. I ain't losing no weight. Look at me. I'm sickening. Yeah. I'm sickening. Ooh, I may be fat, bitch, but you're ugly and I can lose weight.
Oh, shit.
I'm right there. There I am.
Oh, my God.
I'm in the audience. So are my two friends that are here with me today.
Oh, my God.
Bitch. She's so sickening. Yes, Kennedy.
You know who Kennedy is?
I know every single one of them.
They all do the same move. They drop down and do the splits.
That's what I think when I'm watching your shows, too. You know, all the same stuff.
But this move of the splits, they all do this. That's the move.
It's the money move.
Oh, the money move is
Look out. She got money in her hand.
Yeah.
Look, they're throwing it at her.
They're throwing money at her.
Kennedy's
she got
everything.
split too. Bam.
She's an OG.
They should call this show I Do the Splits.
Death drop.
That is hands down one of my favorite one of my favorite videos ever. Miley is so real for that. And again, it draws you in. She's so authentic and she's like she's witty, right? Like on the ball. He goes, they're all doing the same thing. And she says, yeah, that's what I think when I watch your show too. I said is really untraditional PR is Hot Ones. Love when celebrities go on here and they're disarmed because they're eating really hot wings. And it's just a casual conversation. Again, this is and I'd say there's still curation within it. There's probably topics that are off limits, but it feels much more organic. So here's Ariana Grande on it.
That's tiny.
All right, I'll join you.
Delicious. That's really good. By the way, I'm not coming in proud or cocky or confident. I'm
Right.
shriveling and weak and honest. It's beautiful. The notes are romantic. Not for me. There's not a spice problem. It's a
Flavor problem.
It's a tone.
Yeah, well, it's disgusting.
No, my face changed because I think I'm learning that I don't like hot sauce. Oh my god, it's giving me hiccups. Am I just like numb? My insides know something's happening, something is afoot. But like I'm fine here. My lips feel it. It's nice
Yeah.
though.
No,
It feels like plumper. Something's turned off. It shouldn't feel like this. I have to do
So again, just so real. And this is again moving away from the overly curated. The new PR is more of a narrative co-created. But I really feel that the stunt fatigue is real. Taylor can end up doing stunts. Katy Perry, what she did with feminist space travel was a stunt. And it's the type of overly manicured campaign that is flopping in today's climate. And what every PR person should be paying attention to is how PR, branding, and marketing is shifting, not just because of the Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds and Justin Baldoni case, because it's been shifting previously, but it's being accelerated now because people now are even becoming more literate on what's going on behind the scenes from channels like this, and they're sick of it. And what we start to notice is people can smell it, the performative, inauthentic aspect of it from a mile away. Like as soon as she held up the freaking butterfly, everyone was like, stunt. And people are tired of being treated like idiots. People are tired of being treated like they don't understand what's going on. Just be real, just be authentic. That's what people want. And so what I think we're going to see more of what is winning in terms of PR moving forward, which will have to be a big shift for Taylor, kind of going a little bit back to her roots. That's what made her so popular in the beginning, is A-listers taking back the narrative by almost going off script. Like taking back the narrative from an overly curated PR machine and going off script. Not to Vogue. So you're not going straight to Vogue when you have a new album. You're not going to Space when you have a new album with your set list. You're going to, like, Call Her Daddy's still a big platform. I wouldn't say it's small, but it's still a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. Hot Ones, Joe Rogan, even YouTubers, going to more indie creators for those exclusives. And I think we're going to see this really pick up speed in upcoming years, where there is a different type of PR that's done and people are less and less likely going to these sources. Because I hate to tell you guys, I know a lot of people think that it's like not Taylor Swift and it's someone going off script. If a Glamour magazine article comes out with sources around Taylor, it's her PR team. They are not going to launch a story with some rando off the streets that like, hey, I got intel on Taylor Swift. You want to hear my intel on Taylor Swift? No, they're not publishing that. Sources are PR, and people are starting to catch on to that. It worked when people still believe that sources were just randos making up shit, but people are starting to catch on. They're like, oh, okay, sources are the PR team to feed a particular narrative to legacy media. So the more we see people catch on, you have to be thinking steps ahead of the market. And I really think we're going to see people more and more leveraging Call Her Daddy, Joe Rogan, YouTubers, etc., more indie content creators. And these types of platforms are going to do a couple things. One, they like disarm the celebrity a bit, right? It has, even though, like I said, I'm nearly positive there are still off-limit topics. There's still like creation behind the scenes. It's not totally rogue, but has more of a relaxed atmosphere and format. There might be a little bit more spicy questions or off, the cuff questions that are catching someone off guard. There might be a lower prep environment where it's not like, here are the 10 questions you are asking Taylor Swift, and these are the answers she is giving. And that is that. I think we're really going to see this more of disarming the celebrity, relaxed format, lower prep environment for PR moving forward. Two, what we're going to see likely is building more of that parasocial trust, if you will. That's what made Taylor so famous in the beginning, because when everyone else was cutting off access, Taylor was showing up at weddings and graduations. She was doing live streams. She was constantly involved. She was herself replying to comments on social media. She was directly involved. That is coming back. Taylor was definitely ahead of her time when she was doing things like that. It's what built her brand. But kind of bringing back this, not celebrity in this gilded cage, this golden mansion at the top of the hill, but more of just like us. You're just like us. But that has been what built Taylor's brand up until this point. Because when you hear the Swifties advocate for her, they go, she's just like us. We made the right person famous. She's just like me. She has the same struggles as me, the same heartbreak as me, she goes through the same situations as me. That was very intentional how Taylor's brand was built. But she is in a grave danger right now of being way too detached and not following the trends of PR. And number three, I really feel what we're going to see is reaching a younger, more internet native audience who hates fluff and hates legacy media, and really leveraging the younger generation that's just with it. Like, they're not going to Google. They're not going to legacy media. They're going to the indie creators. They're going to TikTok. They're going to Instagram. They're going to YouTube. I think we're going to see more and more and more of that be put on center stage. And even, like I said, Miley on Joe Rogan, perfect example. She makes an off the cuff joke. You can't help but love her for that joke. I mean, it just makes her come across so quick on her feet and funny. She comes across as someone I'd want to have like a drink with and go out for dinner with. She just comes across so cool. And that you wouldn't see in a scripted sit down interview with Vogue, where all the life has been sucked out of the room because it's so sanitized in the traditional PR model. But like I said, I think one thing we're going to see is Taylor Swift, the queen of curated control. I think there's going to be a shift there. Tree Paine has built a fortress. She is a genius. I will never take that away from Tree Paine. She is a genius. But we're moving from the PR lockdown era to an era where authenticity beats curation. And it'll be very interesting to see how Taylor adapts to that. And she's had certain eras where, reputation, where she had gone away for a bit, that it really suited that energy. However, again, with more distrust of legacy media, more distrust of sources, or people becoming savvy, that's actually the PR team, those old moves are going to create more distrust with the celebrity, because people are going to be like, all right, cool. Your PR team did this to create a narrative for you. That is what I predict we're going to see in terms of PR, and what the smart celebrities are going to do to get ahead of that. And 5 tips I would say advising celebrities in regards to PR moving forward is: 1, drop the facade, show up on smart mid-sized channels or mid-sized platforms, or even larger platforms, but again, more relaxed. Call Her Daddy, Joe Rogan, Hot Ones would be ones I would include as larger platforms, but a step away from legacy media, maybe even flying in the face of legacy media. Position yourself in places that have high trust with high niche audiences. Number 2, engage with YouTubers and creators. Offer access, not control. And it doesn't mean it's a free-for-all. It doesn't mean people get unlimited access. That's not what I'm saying. But offering that access and creating almost PR funnel where you're collaborating with narrative drivers in today's society, today's social media environment, where people, especially like your audience, are targeting or going to, for their news, more of the YouTubers, the TikTokers, the Instagrammers, rather than Google. Collaborate, engage with them, offer access. not this polished control. Again, it does not mean unlimited, unfettered access, but look at who is driving the narrative and forward. And rather than reacting to them, by reacting, that's what we're seeing Blake do a lot, right? She's reacting to us, to YouTubers, to creators, to TikTokers. She's reacting constantly with legacy media drops, hit pieces on legacy media. Instead of reacting, collaborate. It's this humbled energy rather than like, ugh, looking down from my ivory tower, right? 3, use short form social media aspects to tease, not tell. So let fans feel like they're putting the pieces together. Taylor was great at that. Easter eggs, fantastic. What it also does when we're looking at bringing people into putting the pieces together, weird way of saying it, but together, is it's called the IKEA effect. Yep, IKEA, like the store, the IKEA effect in sales psychology. If people feel like they're putting the pieces together, so say you're putting a bunch of teasing clips of behind the scenes aspects of you working on a new album or a new movie or a new project coming. If you put a bunch of like these teasers coming out, not telling, but teasers, people feel like they're putting those Easter eggs together. Easter eggs are a sales psychology as well. Taylor has used them very effectively in her brand. People put them together. It feels like the IKEA effect. And then what happens is people, when they start to put it together with you, they're more bought into staying to the final project and purchasing the final project because they've like put it together, right? They're a part of the process rather than it just being delivered on silver platter. They're like, man, I've literally put all these Easter eggs together and now I want to buy the album. Taylor Swift has been a genius at leveraging the IKEA effect. Others should catch on and start doing that. So short form social tease, it could be reels, TikToks of little clips, you talking behind the scenes, clips of you doing things. Tease it out, don't tell, create the IKEA effect. Number 4 is train your audience in more of unscripted banter. That's the new media skill set. It's not about telling people or having a teleprompter of like hitting all the right marks. But this is actually how I've built my brand where, I am who I am. I just banter. I don't have a script. I might have a couple points I have to hit, but you get what you get. And the more you can have a audience, or did I say train your clients? Train your audience to engage with more of that unscripted banter. That's going to bring them in. It's going to humanize you. You're going to create real emotional connection rather than it seeming like everything you say is scripted. Like we can basically see you with the script constantly. You're bringing people in. It humanizes you. It's like, I'm not afraid to mess up because I'm a human just like you. I'm not perfect. And that's been the core foundation of my brand from day one. I have never pretended to be perfect. I've never pretended to have all the answers. And while I do have some points because my ADHD, we end up on a tangent. I don't remember where the hell I was in the beginning. I have some points to keep me on track. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say the wrong thing because it's unscripted banter. Most of what I do, that's not for everyone, but typically you're going to see it not for, and this is not a slight against anyone. Typically you see it not for more of the older generation that is looking for more of traditional reporting. But again, if we're starting to target more of the younger generation that is coming onto social media for their news, it can be really good. And again, often you are kind of training your audience in a certain way, right? Same as if I talk to, or I'm working with new entrepreneurs, for example, and they used to do really short captions on social media posts. You kind of have to train your audience to watch longer videos. You have to train your audience to read longer captions. And it sounds horrible, but it's not in a nefarious way or anything. It's just because often people aren't used to watching longer things. They're not used to reading longer things. So you almost want to train your audience in the way of your brand. You speak to the right people, yes, and you train them in that way. And number 5, avoid the spacesuit syndrome. That's what I'm calling it now, the spacesuit syndrome. If the campaign feels like a stunt, scrap it. If you are working, and here's the thing, everything in branding and marketing and PR is in some way curated. That is just the reality. If you are flying by the seat of your pants in your brand, in your marketing, your PR, you are doing it wrong. However, throw out the spacesuit syndrome. That PR is done. If you look at something that's presented to you by your team and it feels like a stunt, throw it out and maybe throw out your team. Start to do the thing that feels a little small, a little risky, a little more real. That's where the actual power is lying now, because it's changing. And everything that feels like a stunt, people are jumping on like a pack of dogs right now. And more than anything, you don't want to be seen as someone that is, in today's landscape, as inauthentic and trying to manipulate the public. So start to be open to a little bit more small, risky, real. I imagine when celebrities started going on Call Her Daddy and Joe Rogan, their PR team was probably like, okay, this is a little risky. Don't know how this is going to go, but let's test it out. And that's 9 times out of 10. What I'm doing with clients anyway is, in my job, is seeing the patterns of what's going on in the industry, the shifts that are happening, and helping my clients stay on the front end of that. Doesn't mean everything's going to be a perfect win. It's impossible. But you want to stay on the front end of that, of seeing where things are going. And Walt Hu, for those that like human design, he used to always say the material plane is always mutating. Either you adapt or you die. And what he meant by that is business, music, movies, how people see celebrities, everything in business is always adapting. The niches are adapting. What people are looking for is adapting. Everything is changing. And if you don't adapt with it, you die off. And that's why we see so many artists that were so successful for so long. Miley, Madonna is another great one. Beyonce, even Taylor, even though I'm not technically a Taylor fan, but they have these eras and they are geniuses at staying ahead of where the market is going and constantly reinventing while staying true to their core archetype. And as they stay true to the core archetype and they reinvent themselves with the market, they're always staying ahead. They're always staying relevant. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this. So we're staying away. Remember, we're staying away from spacesuit syndrome. We're not doing these ridiculous stunts anymore for PR. And yes, it was absolutely a PR stunt for, what's her name? Katy Perry. It's been a long day for Katy Perry. And I genuinely think that if she wanted to go about a woman's world rebrand, she could have done it in such a different way. Such a different way. I think it was so out of touch. Her PR team is out of touch with how they marketed this era. They missed the mark on what audiences want. And they had such an opportunity, even if the song itself was kind of like, ugh, they had such an opportunity to leverage this era in a way that, you know, Justin Baldoni was leveraging his era to feature and put at the forefront domestic abuse survivors. There's an opportunity. Is it riskier? Sure, I suppose. But so is going up to space with a butterfly that no one can read. So then you have to do an embarrassing follow-up post. Be like, hey, girl, hey, since you couldn't see the set list from space, here's the set list. That's a lot worse. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed. And with that, I hope for those that celebrate, you have a wonderful Easter weekend. Have time with your family. If you enjoy spending time with your family, I'm with the animals over the weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. What I found nobody wants to hear.